Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Thursday, August 22nd. It is 6:21 right now. Market's gonna open in about 9 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, a few more things here and we are good to go. All right, so let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, link is going out. And we are ready to go. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking liquidity over here real quick. Start from the daily. Going down to the 8 hour. Going down to the 4 hour. Going down to the 2 hour. Going down to the 1 hour. Down to the 30 minute. $15 minute. 10 minute. And right back down to the 1 minute. All right. Looks like we are good to go. All right, guys. So good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, August 22nd. It is 6:25 right now. Market's going to open up in about 5 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity is going to be above at 41,077. And the closest level below is going to be at 41,013. So those are the two closest levels of liquidity to current price. I believe we had news this morning. So let me check real quick. Yeah, so we had some high impact news over here at 5:30. It was pretty much mixed. We have more news at 6:45 and more news at 7 and 7:30. So 5:30, 6:45, and 7:30, of course. So let's see, 4:30 or 5:30 actually. You can see it's pretty obvious. It's this huge candle right here. So the news was this huge green candle right there. It's the first news event, 5:30. 6:45, 7, 7:30. So there goes the news for today. Let's see, looking over here at my bigger move for the day. As you guys know, I'm testing out this like bigger 100-point move that I typically will just take and let run for, the entire session. I believe it's for a buy today. So let me take a look real quick. Yeah, it's going to be for a buy. So as we get closer to market open, I'll mark that up for you guys. Looking over here, I'll mark the range once market is opened up, and we'll see where that kind of price pushes around to. But at the moment, it looks like price is probably going to push between the 41,100 and the 41,000. So at 100 pip range or 100-point range, we'll look for once market opens up. So, all right, let's see what's here so far. Morning, everybody. So we got Adam here. Morning, Adam. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Steven. Morning, Taran. Daniel's asking, did it hit yesterday? No, it didn't hit yesterday. It whipsawed and then it came back down. So it was for a buy yesterday. Price got like almost halfway or more than halfway to TP, and then it swung back to the bottom and it swung right back up. So it swung bottom, hit stop loss, and it swung right back up. So the one yesterday didn't hit. The one before that hit. So on Tuesday it hit, and on Wednesday it didn't. So this was Wednesday's market yesterday. You guys can see how much it was whipsawing around. So it pushed up right here. It got pretty close to hitting. And then it just ended up coming down super hard. So it came up and then it came right back down. I think if it held on to this point right here, if it didn't draw back like this, it would have went all the way up. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So from what I've tested, it's like about a 60 to 65% win rate. So from my testing phase, it basically will net maybe 2 to 4 wins monthly. So it's not a very, very profitable strategy, but it's a strategy that is consistent long term. So like, for example, low risk traders, if you just want to have a strategy that you take basically every day with something with like maybe a 1% risk, you'll like long term, you'll make profit on it. From what I've tested, it hasn't been negative in long periods. So, AJ, morning. All right, guys, so market's gonna open up in about 15 seconds. I'll be watching over here again on my other end. So if you guys hear something in the background, it's gonna be the bigger move. It's not not any of my official entries.
Order filled.
All right, so we got this right here. And I'll leave that at that. So I'll come back to that later. Come back and take a look at that. In probably a couple hours. All right, guys. So we have market open here now. Let me go and mark up opening price. So that 100-point move is going to be for a buy. It's currently running right now. So I'll come back and take a look at that a little later. Let's leave it at this right now. Zoom out a little bit. All right, I'll just leave it at that. Looking at current price, it is right now at the sessions and opening price. So there's no entries for us to take here. The first level of liquidity right there just got hit. So if you guys decided to take that right there, looks like it is pushing up. If you're going for the 10-point move, looks like it's about to hit. So liquidity is pushing through right now, as you guys can see. Have a new level of liquidity right here. There you go, full TP right there on that liquidity. Again, price is at the sessions up here. So the next level of liquidity right here just got hit. The only problem with this level of liquidity is that it's right at the sessions. So, bit of a red flag. And we'll see where this goes. All right, so we got price pushing up right there. There goes my 100-point move. It's currently pushing into profit right there, almost to its full TP. It is pushing its way up right now as we speak. Let's put an alert right here. All right, so I'll come back and take a look at that later. But price is pushing up right here. There's no entries for us to take at the moment. If you guys took the liquidity right here, full TP on both of them. Price is pushing up higher from where price is currently at. Again, the target price point is going to be, so if price pushes up higher from where it's currently at right here, next target is going to be the levels right there. There's no market flow entries for us to take here at the moment because price hasn't pulled back to the pivots. We'll see if we get that here if price does retrace back a little bit. Other than that, there's not really much else up here. There's liquidity up here, but it's super high at 41,305. And there's more liquidity up here at 41,427. So I'll take a look at that as we get closer to that point. But at this very moment, there's just no entries for us to take here right now. The 100-point move is currently in profit way up here. It's got a ways to go. This is probably going to get hit eventually. But we'll, I guess we'll play by ear. We'll see where this ends up going. Let's see, so the target is actually at 164. All right, so price is pushing up right there to its TP. Again, I'm looking for some market flow entries right here. If price ends up going sideways like this, typically don't really want to mess with it. So I'll be looking for this here to retrace back a little bit and then push back up, like a little further. Right now, I don't like how price is currently moving. Let's see what this is at. Yeah, I don't like how it's currently moving right now. It's kind of just flat. Not exactly the type of market conditions I like to trade in. So for me to take an entry here, I need this to actually push around. I don't want it to like go sideways like this. Right. So if I get a market flow entry right here, probably not going to take it. I need something to sharply come down and then come right back up. So probably not on this candle, maybe on the next one, because it looks like price is coming down right now. So I'll look for it to pull back down a little further on the next candle. The thing that I don't like where price is currently at is the sessions over here as well. So you can see how price is right at the sessions. It's not really a good area. Steven said, so third liquidity push today was too risky. You got to exit it after the second one. Yeah, it was a little risky because of so I'm not going to take a market flow here, guys. It's right at the sessions. The third one was like right at the sessions up here. So that's why I thought it was a little risky for me personally. See, question from other Steven. I didn't realize there was two Stevens here. Steven said, unless this is you, Steven, do you have two accounts? Okay. Steven just logged into two accounts. Okay, I see. Steven's asking, got you, switch to PC. Steven said, Sean, does the 85 lifetime fee also apply to current evaluations? Yeah, until it expires. So I think that lifetime fee, it expires on the 27th. So you got to get it funded by the 27th. And then I don't know if they extended it longer to September, but the current promo for like bigger accounts and stuff like that and the resets, it expires on the 27th of August. So basically next week. You're on 150K count, right, Steven? 151,772. Okay. So I forget what your profit goal is, but I think you need 9,000 if I know correctly. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, 8,000 more. Yeah, I mean it's possible, Steven. You could have a win streak just, pop off from now until next week. Like I've had that happen a lot of times. So it's very possible for you to get to that point. I mean, if you want to increase your risk, you can because the resets are only like, I think they're like $40 right now. So I mean, if you want to increase the risk and try to get to that point quicker, you can, and it's very possible. So yeah, I would just check the Apex website for the whatever the promo is, because they have two different promos running right now. They have one that's the new promo, and then they have one where the bigger promo is, I think, got pushed back until like the 27th. But yeah, if the activation fee promo lasts until September, then it's going to be $85 until that time comes. I think the normal price is like two something. I know Aaron was asking me about that yesterday. Or he's asking about that this morning, actually. All right, so price is kind of just sitting right here down the middle right now, guys. Again, I don't like trading where the sessions is at. I'm looking for and waiting for price to actually push up a little higher. So let's go to our clean chart. Now that we have price up here, so it's a little tricky where the range is at, because the range could technically be up here. Or it could be down here. So there's a couple levels right here, as you guys can see. This is the midpoint. This is the higher range. This is the lower range. All right, we got price pushing up again right here. If this pulls back and pushes back up, this could be a possible entry for a market flow. I don't think this will happen right here, but I'm going to look at it just in case. It's got 20 seconds left on the candle, so I'll just watch it here to see in case that becomes the situation here. No, so price again is at the sessions. I don't want to trade right here at the sessions. As you guys can see, this is where price gets manipulated. I need price to push up a little bit higher, retrace, and climb up higher from here. I don't want to trade anywhere down this middle area right here. This is just red flag area for me. The good thing about this is that if we're looking for a buy here, it's going to be in confluence with my longer push right here. It's bigger, 100-point push that I'm aiming for. So that's kind of what I'm watching for here. But again, I just need price to actually push out of this area, because I'm not taking any trades that are down here. Obviously, I'm avoiding all the red flags. One thing that I've noticed, I was testing this a lot yesterday, actually. A lot of people don't apply the breakout V2 variation, but the breakout V2 variation or breakout V3 variation is very similar to an engulfing pattern. So if you guys look at these lower lows, so for example here, see how there's a lower low right here with the red candle, and this candle is obviously engulfing. That would have been an entry right there for a breakout V2 or breakout V3, depending on which one you wanted to take. So if you guys look at that, the older breakout, or not breakout, sorry, the older variation entries, variation V2, variation V3, they work very well during this type of market. Did a lot of testing. It works really good on the 1 minute. It works really good on the 5 minute. The only problem with those strategies is that it takes forever for them to come up. They don't come up very often. So I know some of you guys like to trade engulfing patterns. The engulfing patterns works perfectly fine with my high-low scalp, like right here, for example, lower low, red candle, engulfing green candle. And I'll look for them on the chart. If I see them on the chart, I'll point them out because they pretty much identify, some pretty good reversals. So whenever I identify V1 variations, or if I identify a CV pattern, I'll also identify a V2 or V3. A lot of people have forgot about those strategies because you don't apply them very much, but I mean, they're very well profitable strategies. Did a lot of testing yesterday. I was trying to figure out what other strategies we can factor in aside from these market flow entries. But there's nothing that really stands out. They're kind of the same. I mean, not the same as in like strategy wise, but they're the same in profitability wise. So like the win rate is still the same. It's not like anywhere higher. So for me personally, I prefer to just stick to one strategy and focus on quality entries versus kind of just, mixing in a couple other strategies that have the same type of win-loss ratio and are just a little more difficult. So the thing that I did with the V2 and V3 variations is instead of using a fixed 15-15, I was actually going off the ATR. So like, for example, the ATR right here is 20. I'd go off like either individual ATR or I'd go off double ATR. So I either do 20-20 or I do 40-40. And they tend to work. So on the 1 minute and 5 minute time frames. All right, so we got price still sitting right here at the sessions. We got news coming up in about 2 minutes. Thanks, Daniel, for the heads up. News at 6:45 is high impact, I believe. Yeah, we got PMI news. So we got inflation news right here. Global manufacturing PMI, global services PMI, composite PMI. A lot of high impact news right here at 7 o'clock. So I basically hold off on any entries from now until then. And then at 7 o'clock, we have existing home sales. So let's get this inflation news through. Let's see where it goes from there. Let's see. I'm expecting the news to be probably positive. It's forecasted to be neutral and negative. But we'll see. Got news coming up in about a minute, guys. Probably hold off on some entries right now. Here's our clean chart. So you guys can kind of see where the baseline's at. Baseline's right here down the middle at the 41,100. Upper level is going to be here at the 150. Lower level is going to be here at the 50. So there is our clean chart at the moment. Nothing going on. All right, we got news in about 20 seconds, guys. Price has been sitting right here at the sessions pretty much all morning. Again, this is the reason why we don't trade at the sessions, because you can see how price gets highly manipulated around this area, right? So just a reminder, guys, it's the whole reason why I created that indicator to prevent getting caught in fake outs, getting caught in basically bad entries in general. There we go. The price spikes up. BS.
Order filled.
So I hit my TP right there on my top step, but it didn't actually close me out. I just closed it out manually because the trade did hit off the news right there. So I got in at an earlier price on my top step, and my TP was actually a little lower. It didn't trigger it, so I had to close it out manually, but it's all good. So that trade right there won. So what I did was I got in like a few seconds earlier. I mean, I have to get in a few seconds earlier. It's just how it's going to have to be every morning because I typically miss a spike here on open. But yeah, that was a 100-point move right there. On TradingView, it's a little different because this is the actual price, but on my top step, I got in earlier. I wish I took a screenshot of that before it happened, but it's all good. Here, I'll just take a screenshot on my computer. So you guys can see right here, this is my top step account. Now I'm glad it closed out because you can see here it's coming back down. I knew this was going to happen because it was based off the news, but it came up, triggered my TP. I think it happened too quick to spike. So it didn't, obviously it didn't close me out where I needed to. It just spiked up, came right back down. That's why I closed it out manually, like around this upper area right here. So, all right, that's done with. Let me just turn off this alert so we don't get confused when it comes up. And let's get back to our analysis. All right, so price pretty much whipsawed right here. It spiked up real quick, then it came right back down based off the news. Let me check the news real quick. What was it? It was pretty mixed. So we had the manufacturing PMI negative, services PMI positive, and composite PMI positive as well. Liquidity right here is getting hit down below. We'll see if the trend shifts. If the trend shifts, I'll start looking for some sells. If it doesn't, then it's completely fine. I'll just come back and look for some buys. But the first level of liquidity right here just got hit, this lower low. Looks like it already pushed through. So if you guys took that liquidity right there, solid. It came up right after the news candle. So I mean, for me personally, I wouldn't have messed with it, but a lot of people here take liquidity regardless of the fact. There's another level of liquidity right here. I think this lower level is going to be a pretty strong level right here because you can see how price spiked off here as the news price from earlier this morning. So whenever I see like a big wick like this off liquidity, I identify it as a pretty strong liquidity. So price is pushing down. It's probably going to push from this level to this level down here. Might not be a super smooth push, but when it gets a little farther down, it's probably going to blast right through. The thing with this here is that this is a lot of it. The direction here is based off the news. So the news candle is right here at 645. You can see how price spiked up and it came back down super heavy. See how price is pushing down to this next level? Doing exactly what we anticipated. Like I said, whenever you see a big wick like that, the liquidity is going to be pretty strong around that area. Again, right here, so price pushes back up, which it corrects back to this upper side. You guys see how there's a level of liquidity right here? When price gets to this upper level right here, this area, it's probably going to blast right through it. So you're probably going to get some big volatility push straight to the upside right there. So anyways, liquidity right here got hit. I will clean this up right here. The next level of liquidity is going to be down below right there. I wouldn't necessarily take the push at the level, but I would take the push to the level. So for example, if you have some sort of entry that comes up right here, like for example, if I get a market flow entry, right? So say price pulls back a bit, right? Say price pulls back and then it comes back down. At that point, I would take the market flow entry because I have a target down here for price to reach, right? Which is liquidity. I wouldn't necessarily take this as a liquidity, just liquidity, because I feel like this area right here, the push is going to happen before it gets to that level. So what I do see happening here is if the retracement doesn't happen, there's two things that can likely happen here. Best case scenario that I'm looking for is for price to retrace back slightly, right? Retrace back a little bit, come down hard. That's what I want. The other case scenario here is price comes down super hard from where it's currently at, fakes out and comes right back up. See what I mean, guys? There's like two different scenarios here that can play through. It's either going to blast right through, but the real area to trade in would be this. And there you go. It's pushing right down to that level. So your entry would have happened right there, and it pushed right through that level to where that liquidity was sitting. So again, whenever I mark up liquidity here, guys, if you guys want to zoom out and see where the liquidity was originated from, if it originated with a big wick, then it's probably going to be a strong level of liquidity right there. More likely than not, it's a strong level of liquidity. And look what happened here. See how it's faking out and swinging right back up? That's why I personally wouldn't take it at the level of liquidity because I already know this was going to happen. That's the double-edged sword when trading at these areas right here. So I'll give you guys the analysis and I'll give you guys a heads up when it comes down for this, when it comes down to this here, but just keep an eye out. There's like so many different confluences that you can look for here just to improve your confidence within your trade. See, ideally, I would have wanted price to retrace back a little bit and then come right back down further, but that didn't happen. I gave you guys two scenarios. I said price is either going to retrace back up, and I'm going to take this as a market flow, or price is just going to blast right through, and a lot of liquidity there is going to get picked up, which that's pretty much what happened there. Let's take a look at retail sentiment real quick. Retail sentiment is currently 76% short. So again, I'd be looking for some sort of correction to the upside. So I'd look for a V2, V3 variation, V1 variation, CB pattern, some sort of reversal pattern down here. Once you guys see that reversal pattern, I would look for price to swing back up. I'll look for price to swing back up and wipe out this liquidity because we got all this liquidity up here, right? Huge wick, higher high right there, untested. That's going to be the level of, and here we go. We got a V1 variation right here, guys. It might be coming up now as we speak. You guys see that double body rejection right there? It's a V1 variation reversal pattern. We might get a correction to the upside here. Possibly, maybe, maybe not. I mean, I don't want to say for sure that's going to be the case because you can never guarantee it. You know, you just want to have some sort of analysis in place. So there's two things that are going to happen here. Price is either going to push up, come right back down, knock out the rest of the liquidity down here. The next target is going to be the Asia low right here. So this liquidity right here actually lines up with the Asia low. See the purple line? So there's still targets down here. The only thing here that's a little tricky is that we have the V1 variation. So if this V1 variation is established, it's active right now, but it's not necessarily established. So it's not established to the point where we can say, okay, this is for sure going to climb up. We need to wait for that confirmation. If this candle pushes below this green candle right here, this low, then this is no longer going to be a V1 variation. The target will probably hit down here for the session. Let's see, Sam is asking, you can trade news on Top Step, Sean. On the eval, you can, I believe. On Top Step, I'm just on the eval right now. On my Apex, I'm funded, so I don't trade news at all on Apex. But for my Top Step, I think you can still trade news on your eval phase. So the reason why I use the Top Step was because they have end of day trailing drawdown. And I can take the bigger trades on there. So like, for example, I can't take like a 100-point move on Apex, right? Because the trailing drawdown will just eat into my account. So like I would have to do, like on Apex, you have to do regular scalps because if you don't, then you'll eat into your trailing drawdown and you'll basically lose the account by technicality. But with Top Step, they have end of day drawdown. So like you can basically let the trade run all day. And that's the type of strategy that I'm running on Top Step. It's basically a 100-point move, like I showed you guys earlier over here. It's the 100-point move. And I just kind of take it here on open. I base it off the analysis and the technicals, and then I just let the trade run. So on open, I'll take it for either 100 points to the upside or 100 points to the downside. So it's a bit of a different type of strategy. Yeah, Sam. So Sam said, yeah, you have a very different way of trading in a cool way. Yeah, I trade very differently. So I trade differently for Apex and I trade differently for Top Step. Because like I said, they're two different types of platforms. With Apex, I do the quick scalps. I'm in and out for 15 points. For Top Step, I can go for the bigger move, 100-point move or anything like that. I just started using Top Step though. So I used Top Step a long time ago. It was like my first funding company that I used with features. But I don't like Top Step as much because they're not on NinjaTrader. I like using NinjaTrader. So I have like, if you saw my setup right here, Sam, I've got four screens up right now. I've got my laptop over here with Apex. I've got my trading view in front of me. I got my Top Step over here on my right, and then I have the chat over here on the top. So I got a lot of different screens here. And I got like basically opposite trading panels here. Yeah, but with the Top Step, it's more of like a swing trade. Not necessarily a strong swing trade, but it's like a day trade that I hold for the entire session. So it's like day/swing, because typically our trades here will last for like a couple seconds, if not a couple minutes. But for the Top Step entry, it's a lower risk type strategy, basically 1% risk or less per day at 100 points. All right, guys, so we don't have any entries here yet. As you guys can see, price is starting to climb back up. My markup from earlier, so I mentioned there was a V1 variation right here, guys, right? See how the price is pushing up? We had that reversal pattern right here. Double body rejection off this lower low. and price is now climbing back to the upside. We have a breakout B3 continuation setup right here. So there's another confluence right there that price is likely to keep pushing up higher. The only problem here is that it's going to be right at the sessions, right? Or it's right at the news price. So, I mean, technically there's an entry right here for breakout B3 continuation. I personally wouldn't really mess with it. There was another breakout B3 continuation that happened right here as well. I don't know if you guys noticed that. See, this would have been the confluence for you guys to take the liquidity down earlier. There's a breakout B3 continuation right here. You can see there's a sell signal, red candle after it, continuation. Same with this one over here. You have a buy signal, a green candle over here. Price might retrace back a little bit, but eventually I'm expecting it to push up higher. So it's going to wait for price to get out of this area. Not exactly where I want it to be right now. If this pulls back down, that's completely fine. I might even be able to look for a market flow entry to the sell side. All right, so there may be some possibility of market flow here. If this ends up happening, price comes down, retrace, comes down and finishes off the move down here. So I'll look for a possible market flow entry right here, guys, for a sell. So price swings up, comes back down sharply, then that's going to be a market flow entry. I'll be watching it right here. So again, I would need this to swing up a little bit. So I need this to swing up sharply, likely bounce off the pivot and then come right back down. And I'll just go with the flow of market, of course. So we got 36 seconds left on this candle. It's still a lot of time. Again, I need this to retrace up a little sharply and then come back down. If you guys want to take it as is, you guys can, but at this very moment, there is no entry here for me yet. The volatility here is pretty low. Now, let's see if I can get in right here.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
It was, it didn't fill. It was a little too late. So again, right here, another possible opportunity here for a market flow. The volatility here is too low, guys. I wasn't able to get into this one either because price needs to push away from where it's currently at. All right, let me see. Put my
Order
pin order right
submitted.
here.
Order filled.
Oh crap, that's why. Okay, sorry guys. I need to get out of this position.
Order filled.
Sorry, I'm on my wrong account right now. Why is my account on here? Sorry, my copier wasn't connected properly. So I was wondering why it isn't showing up on the screen. Fuck, I missed the trade. Okay. That was my bad. So the trade's probably gonna hit right here. There's news at 7 o'clock. I'm not in the position though. I forgot I was testing out the strategy yesterday with the engulfing. And this is probably gonna hit. Yeah, fuck me. Fuck me. So full TP on that trade, guys. If you guys caught it, I missed it because I had my sim account that was linked on there because I was testing out the V3 and V2 variations yesterday, like I said. So let me take the sim off my account. I don't even know why it's connected on here. It shouldn't be. So weird. So the weird thing is that my sim wasn't even connected to my. Sorry guys, 1 second. I gotta reconnect my NinjaTrader. Like I didn't log into my sim, but for whatever reason, the sim was what was connected to my my chart. Oh, okay, I see what it is. Never mind. So I see what I did here. I was connected to a different SIM account. I forget that Apex gives you a SIM account, so so that is what was connected. Okay. I was trying to figure out like what account was it executing on, but it was executing on my Apex SIM, which I forget Apex gives you a SIM account too. Because they're the same name. If you have an NinjaTrader SIM or an Apex SIM, it's called SIM 101. And that's what it was executing on. So, anyways, I'll just mark this up for you guys. I think some of you guys here did take it. And let's put this down right here. So that entry came up and it was at news too, like Daniel said. So maybe it was a good reason why I didn't take it on my personal account. That could have been tricky. But anyways, I'll put it there because I'm gonna be transparent with you guys. I did plan on taking that trade and I did take it. I just took it on the wrong account. So if that trade would have won or lost, it still would have counted either way. So all right, we'll look for the next entry right here. As you guys can see, the volatility is very low from these candles. This is where you don't want to trade. I'm gonna wait for volatility here to pick up a little bit. I don't really like this whole area where price is currently sitting. So what I'm gonna look for next is I'm gonna look for price to actually come down slightly, retrace, and come back down further. Because a sideways movement right here is not exactly the type of market I want to trade in. The reason why you want to trade in a sideways market like this is because once price is done consolidating down this area, it's going to break out, right? It's going to break out to the top or it's going to break out to the bottom. And when you trade that way, you're kind of just gambling at that point because you're just hoping price is going to break out in your direction. And I don't like putting my trades at luck. So I don't like trading at luck or at chance. I like to trade with skill. And I want to make sure that the volatility here is playing through and lining up with my strategy. I mean, technically, if you do see a market flow entry, you can take it and hold on to it. It's probably going to have enough volatility to push to its TP. But, I don't want to take that chance. So basically, I'm going to wait for price to break below the level right here, below the 41,000 mark. Because this area right here is not a good area to be trading in. Here's our clean chart. So it looks like the next level down here is the 41,000. All right, so you guys can kind of see how the levels here are playing through. The range here is actually super, super wide. I probably don't even have to have these. I'll just clean up the levels and I'll leave the level indicator on. Or actually, I'll leave it up for now. It's just easier to see. So I'm gonna take this off. Looks like price is kind of just ranging around this lower area now. All right, price is currently below this point. So I'll be looking for some possible market flows maybe on the next candle. The volatility here is picking up a little bit. You can see how price is having trouble getting past this 41 mark right here. So the 41,000 price point right there, price is having trouble getting past it. There we go. Price pushed past it right there. I'll be looking for a possible market flow on this next candle here. If possible, let's see. All right, so if this swings up, again, I'm looking for this to swing up sharply, and I'm looking for it to come back down. The target price point is going to be down here. We still have the liquidity down here and the session. So the target price point down here is still going to be the target. I'll be looking for price to climb up. So if price climbs up, I'll be looking for some entries up here. But until then, we'll stay down here and look for some sells. All right, so no entries here yet. Market flow might come on the next candle, not this one. All right, so there goes the volatility. I mean, the volatility is there. It's just I wasn't able to get my entry in right there. I was trying to set it up, but it didn't really push up high enough. You guys can see this wick right here. I need price to actually push up higher. So I need something to happen where price pushes up so that I have time to set up my pending order and then it comes down and fills it. This right here is just not the case. All right, so price blasted through liquidity right there. It's currently at the sessions. There goes the liquidity that I marked up. Target got hit. This was a target direction for the sell. And that would have been a good market flow entry too. I just hate that the volatility is so low because, see, we need something like this. See how this green candle here pushed up? I need it where it pushes up so I have enough time to put my pending order right there. This thing had not even a point. You can see how price pushed up right there. It pushed up like literally 1 point. So I didn't have time to set up my pending order for it to come back down. All right, so liquidity right there just got hit. It's currently at the Asia low right now. Next target's going to be right here. 40,924. Next target below that's going to be down here where the rest of the sessions are sitting. There's just not a lot of opportunity here. It's tough. Because you can see like the volatility here was super flat. So we had about like 5 or 6 candles here, super flat, no movement. And then all of a sudden the volatility just spikes, which was what I was looking for. I was looking for price to get out of this middle area. Because like I said earlier, right, price is going to consolidate and then it'll break out. You can either get lucky or unlucky. And I try to get in right here, but it just doesn't work out. It doesn't always work out the way you plan. All right, so we'll continue looking for some opportunities here for entry. But as of now, there's just nothing for us to take. All right, so we got price coming down to the next level of liquidity right here. I don't think this is a strong level of liquidity. Let me go check. Actually, it's a pretty decent one. Has some decent wick right there. Not a huge wick, but I mean decent. This wick came up yesterday at noon. So what I would be looking for here personally is I would look for price to retrace back up again and then continue down further. So I'll be looking for a possible market flow entry here. See how price isn't necessarily breaking through it yet? This is still going to be a reserve. So it's going to be a reserve liquidity level. I'm looking for price to retrace up slightly, then come back down and blast right through it. Unless it blasts through right now, which I mean could also be the case. So there goes, price pushes through. It's not exactly retracing yet. The good thing is that we have other targets down here. So we still have the London low down here and the New York low. So there's still direction for price to come down further. But in order for me to take a market flow entry, I need that retracement. So again, I'm just waiting here. Price is currently at the 40,900 level. Let's go to our clean chart. So this thing just keeps dropping lower and lower and lower. Consolidation is right there. Now we're at this lower point, 900 level. All right, thing to look out for here would be the engulfing pattern. So we'll see here if we'll have a V2, V3 variation. See how this candle here is getting bigger? This could be a possible engulfing candle. If this is an engulfing candle, this could be a possible reversal back to the upside. So pay attention to this green candle. If this green candle is obviously bigger than this red one, it could be a possible reversal back to the upside. If it's going to be like same level, possibly not. But if it pushes up even higher, then you want to be careful for taking any sells here because this could be a possible start of a reversal back to the upside. So it's not looking like it's going to close very big. Yeah, it's actually closing red. I'll be looking for a possible market flow entry here again, guys. Just a reminder. This is a thing that I don't like when the volatility here starts to get really, really slow. The same thing I talked about over here earlier to you guys. You guys can see how the volatility flattens out. This is where it becomes really tricky because you can get caught on the wrong breakout. Breakout can happen in your direction or it can break out in the opposite direction to the upside. That's why I'm looking for some reversals here. We don't have it yet. Like that engulfing candle didn't come up. So there's no reversals here yet, but there's a possibility that there can be. So just pay attention to the whatever the market's showing you and just read the price action basically. So again, there's no reversal here. There's still targets below. So this may be a possible market flow that can be setting up. So it's probably not going to happen on this candle, but it may happen on the next one. So I'll be watching out for it. Let me see if I can see where it pushes through from here. Okay, so let me see if this pushes up a little bit. You have to push up a little more. It's just not really where I need it to be at. And I can't put my pending order here today. It's not really moving very much. All right, so let me see. So I wasn't able to put my pending order there yet because it didn't really push up high enough. Again, like I said earlier, I needed to push up a little higher so I have some space for entry. Might not happen on this one. Might be looking for it on the next candle. This candle has about 10 seconds left on it, so it's got not very much time. All right, so possibly on the next one here. So I need this to push up a little higher. Again, it's not high. It's not high enough for me to put my pending order yet. I need it to really push up and come down. I don't want to get it where it's just laying flat right here. Need some sort of volatility in the market before I start easing my way into this position. This candle has 30 seconds left on it. It has some decent time. If you guys want to get in right away, I mean, feel free. My analysis here is still lines up with a possible sell for price to come down. The target's still down here. So if you want to get in right then and there, feel free. But I'm waiting for my pattern here to show up because the volatility is just too low. I don't want to trade in a consolidating market like this. So I mean, if you took it right there, you would have hit. But again, I'm just waiting for my opportunity here. So again, I'll be waiting over here for retracement. This candle has 40 seconds left on it, so we got a lot of time. I'm just looking for the volatility to pick up. I really don't want to be stuck in a flat market. 26 seconds left on this candle. There goes. The volatility picks up quite a bit. All right, so this is not going to fill. I have my pending order waiting, but it's not going to fill here. I'm not going to take any entries right here, guys. You guys can see how price is going back and forth. I don't want to get caught in this consolidation. You might get caught in the chop. If you guys are not familiar with the chop, chop is basically where prices chops up and down. And then it's easy for you to get stopped out because the chop moves so heavily, but not enough for you to hit your TP. So again, there's another market flow that's setting up right here. I'm not going to mess with it, of course, because like I said, I don't trade when the market's going sideways like this. So same situation over here. I wasn't able to trade right here. I waited for price to come down. I missed my entry because it was too quick. And then again, right here, same situation. I'm not going to take any trades around this area because price is going back and forth. I want price to move directional. So in order for me to take some buys, I need price to climb up. In order for me to take some sells, I need price to climb down. I'm more focused on a sell here, of course, because we're bearish. You can see prices below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. The only thing here is the divergence is bullish right now. So that's something you might want to look out for. All right, so let's see. CRX is asking, how does the new 100-point strategy work? I mean, it's not something I can really explain to you because you have to understand how to read fundamentals. I don't know if you were here on the earlier session on Tuesday, but I have a whole news platform right here that I use. So the night prior, I look at pretty much all the news, or like pre-market, I look at all the news here that will indicate where price is likely to go, right? I'll look at US news, world economy, look at global markets, I'll look at specific industries. I'll see where price is pushing. I'll look at the macro market. I'll see if price is bullish or not. So I'll develop a fundamental analysis. That's the baseline. The baseline is fundamentals. And then from there, I'll look at the technicals. And then from there, I'll decide which direction price is going to go. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to guarantee that direction, but you use all these factors. You look at all the news events. Unless you know how to use fundamentals, it's going to be really tough. The only reason I started looking at fundamentals is because I started watching this show. This usually is what happens to me. I watch a documentary or I watch a show and I see how these investment bankers identify the market and how they analyze the market and stuff like that. So I saw what kind of news events they were looking at. That's why I signed up for this like specific news calendar, and it basically has all the news here. So I look at all the news, I see where it's pointing towards, where the bigger direction is pointing towards. Then I use retail sentiment, of course, and then of course on top of that, I also use the technicals. So, I mean, if it was easy for me to explain, I would, but it's so convoluted that like you wouldn't understand any of it unless you know how to read fundamentals. There's just so much information to look into. You have to do a ton of research and understand what you're looking for with regard to the news events. All right, so I'm looking for a possible market flow entry right here, guys. Look at price kind of come up. I'll put my pending order right there in case it comes back down.
Order submitted.
There's a V1 variation right there up top, double body rejection. So this candle has 33 seconds left on it. If it doesn't come down, I'm going to cancel it, of course. Let's see. All right, so I'm in the position now. Let me see where it is.
Order filled.
I think I didn't get in at perfect entry. Let's see, it should be at 94. Yeah, I kind of got off. I got in at 1 point off. I'm still stuck within the chop here a little bit. It's not exactly where I want to be with regard to direction. but I'm already in the position, so I can't do anything about it. I'm holding on to the position here, stopped out. It's all good. So again, this is the reason why I thought there was going to be some volatility here. There was a lot of confluences. I think this entry was a fair loss. So I took this loss right here, guys, for this market flow entry. I think this here, the confluences lined up properly. So right here, we had a V1 variation. This was a reversal pattern. I was expecting price to come down. We also had a big candle right here. So I was like, okay, this is probably going to be the start of a push to the downside. But then we're still stuck in this chop right here. So this is what I was warning you guys about, the chop, because you'll still get stopped out. I mean, this could possibly push down at some point, but because of the chop here, our stop loss is too tight. So it makes it super difficult to like actually get your direction here. So it's all good. I'm gonna eat that loss. So one loss for the day. We're currently at break even for the week now. Not a huge deal. We also had a pending sell signal. So let me go back over here and I'll just kind of and see if we waited for this one right here. This one here would have played through. But like I said, this chop here it throws off the entire market because like I said, I got in a little early right here. I got stopped out. But if I would have waited and I barely got stopped out. So you can see right here, it barely tapped my stop loss. And there's another market flow that came up right here. And this actually came straight to TP. So it's just a tricky, you got to take the risk. But I'm okay with this loss. I'm going to eat this loss because all the confluences lined up and it actually looked like a pretty good entry. V1 variation, pending sell signal, possible push through to this next level. But again, got caught right there. So I'll look for another possible entry here. Maybe after this one. Not this one here. Again, I want price to kind of push out of this chop area. So let me zoom out a little bit. I want this to get out of this area right here. So I want it to come down a little lower. Because this chop right here is tricky. Especially if your stop loss is super tight like this. Like you need some volatility so there's no drawdown, but watch for this next one. So I'll just take a screenshot of this real quick, show you guys. Trade there. Look for the next one. So this loss came up at like 722. It's all good. So our break even for the day. We're technically in profit for the week still because we had a one net win from earlier this week. All right, let's get out of this chop. Price is currently below right here right now. Yeah, Sam said this market is making me sleep. Yeah, exactly. Same here. There's not really much going on. It's just going back and forth right here. I need price to get out of this area. It's just not I was really hoping that, once we have this V1 variation and price push down, I was really hoping that this right here is a start of a push to the downside. I mean, it technically was, but not a very strong one. So there may be a possible market flow entry here again. I'm not going to take this one, guys. Again, it's still within the chop. In order for me to take entry, I need to have my entry below this point, like below the 900 level. Because the volatility is too low and our stop loss is just too tight for us to withstand any pullback, right? So if we had our original TP stop loss, if you guys remember, we used to use like a negative risk reward. So like for a market like this, and we would have entered like say something like this right here, and we had a 10-30 split, we would have survived it and would have hit our TP. Same with the other one too. If we did like maybe a 15-30, it still would have hit TP right there. Right. So I don't know. Maybe that's something that we might incorporate again if we get stuck in this choppy market, because it's just tough when the stop loss is so tight like this. When it's 15 points and then you don't get in exactly where you need to be in, like my entry was off by like 1 point. So, I mean, technically, if I had one more point of breathing room, it would have came back down further. So we could have entered right here. If I had just a little bit more leeway right there. See like a point or two, we're survive that swing to the downside. But it's all good. It's all part of the game, we just gotta play through with it. Again, today we're currently at break even for the day. And so we have one win on the 100-point move from this morning, and then we have break even for the official entries. It's looking for the volatility here to do something. All right, so looking over here at the clean chart, again, this is just another example of like where I don't want to trade. See how price is just down here? It's sitting at this 900 level. You don't want to trade within this middle area. So in order for me to take some sells, I need price to break below it. In order for me to take some buys, I need price to break above it, of course. But there's just nothing going on here. These are typical summer markets. So if you guys have never traded summer markets, this is normal for summer. This is why everybody hates trading during the summer. The reason why this is happening is because typically a lot of the bigger players are not in the market right now. So during the summer, all the bigger players, the institutions, market makers, the whales in the market, they're all on vacation. Everyone's on their vacation right now. They're on their yachts in Europe somewhere. So right now there's no volatility in the market. There's nobody really pushing price around, right? Typically you'll see price kind of climb up because you have some market players just pushing price around. But right now in the summer, it's just sideways. And the reason why we get this chop is because it's mostly retail traders trading in the market who don't know what they're doing. So like sometimes you'll see retail traders kind of push price up a little bit. They think price is going to go up. And then you see others seeing it coming down. And this is just a cycle that we're in right now for the summer. It's a tough cycle to trade in, honestly. It's a slow market, and unless you're like you have a wide stop loss, it's gonna be easy for you to get stopped out a lot of times. Because the thing is, we need some volatility here. Like we need volatility to push price through. And unless we get that, we're just gonna keep getting stuck in a lot of this back and forth movement. Let's see. So there's some more news right here at 7:30. 7:30 news is going to be gas stock change. It's pretty much the normal gas stock change that comes up. It's not going to push price very much. Yeah, exactly. CRX, it's still in Cancun. See, Daniel said, man, the sell signal does not want to close. This sell signal is pretty much what's been giving me the confidence to take these trades. Like that's the reason I took the sell over here, because that sell signal kept coming up, right? We had the big sell signal right here. And I was like, okay, if that sell signal continues to push through, it's going to push through at least, 15 points to hit its TP, but it just never closed. And again, right here, the sell signal has been pretty much pending for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. About 11 minutes now. So the sell signal has been trying to push through for quite a bit. All right, so the range here is not super obvious, but again, over here, you can see it is super duper obvious. Yeah, here's a chop I just warned you guys about. So in order for me to take some sells, I need price to really be below this point. Otherwise, it's not worth it. All right, here goes a news candle right here. So we got some volatility here, possibly another market flow opportunity. And that sell signal still hasn't closed. We are getting some volatility here now, though. Not a lot, but more than what we've been seeing. All right, so the volatility here is picking up a little bit. There's no market flow on this specific candle, but see what happens next. So possibly a market flow on the next candle. I don't know if we'll get one on this one. There's 26 seconds left on this candle. I mean, there's possibility, but I don't think this is going to come back down. No, it's got 10 seconds left on it. It's back into the chop. Again, I don't want to trade in this middle area. I already got burnt there today. Not going to get burnt there again. Like, sucks. I can't wait for summer to be over. It's August 22nd. We have about a week or two left of summer left in the market. So once September hits, it's not going to be an immediate push back into the full swing, but we're going to be getting closer to it. All right, the volatility here again is still pending. There's a sell signal right there waiting. But again, there's just not enough volatility for it to close. It's super annoying because we just want that candle to close. Once it closes, we'll have, some sort of direction there. We can start looking for some continuations, but yeah. All right. So again, we'll just continue to wait here. Another reminder, guys, whenever I take these trades, I'm taking half risk. So as you guys know, I'm not really taking full risk. That's why I'm okay with taking these losses sometimes. Originally, before we would take full risk. So, it kind of hurt a little bit if you take a loss. But because I'm taking half risk here, I'm only risking about like $500 per trade. So there's a possible market flow right here again, guys. Let's see. About 24 seconds left on this candle. Doesn't look like it's going to come back down though. 15 seconds. Yeah, no entry there. Sucks. All right, if there's any question that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. I'm still going to look for some entries here, but again, I'm not going to be trading within this chop. I need price to be below it. So I'm just going to sit tight, wait for this to come back down, and then from there we'll go. The sell signal still hasn't closed yet. So just a heads up. We still got the target down here. All right. Let's switch over to NQ real quick. Just want to see how it's moving. Let's see. I'm not sure if NQ would be any better. It has some chop here. I mean, there's more volatility, but there's still a chop. Yeah, it's still a little tricky. It's just the volatility here is a lot more volatile per se. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll dabble into some NQ at some point if the market doesn't pick up, but as of now, let's stick with YM for now. I mean, they're moving pretty much the same. It's just the volatility is a little higher on NQ. So still no sell signal here, guys. Let's go back to our clean chart again. I'm not trading until price gets below this chop area. So we're just gonna have to wait it out. All right. No, wait. Now the waiting is going to take even longer because if price does reverse here, it's going to take a while for it to swing up. If you guys have any questions, if you want me to cover anything, again, just feel free to pop into the chat. Reminder for next week. Let's see. Reminder for next week. So guys, I think I told you guys we were gonna do a mentoring session next week. I might have to put that on hold. Because I forget if I have something planned on Monday. Just a reminder, next week's my wedding week. So I have a lot of stuff next week, guys. If you guys want to meet next week or have anything, I totally forgot that it was next week. So I don't think we're gonna be able to have that mentoring session. I just want to remind you guys. Yeah, time just flew by. I know we plan on having a mentoring session on Monday, but I'll keep you guys updated by tomorrow. I need to check my calendar. I just looked at my calendar right now. I have so many things planned for next week. So I just don't want to tell you guys we're having a mentoring session and then we're not able to have it. Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Yeah, wedding week is always hectic for sure. I mean, it's leading up to it. It's just hectic. This week's hectic. Next week's hectic. The week after that as well. It's just everything's kind of piling up. So just a heads up, guys. I'm not saying that we're not going to have a mentoring session, but the odds of us having it are going to be unlikely. But once this is all over, I'll try to have mentoring sessions weekly again, like we used to, so that we can cover stuff in detail. All right, so there's nothing going on here, guys. Price is still going back and forth. It's 7:38 right now, so we still have some time. Thanks, William. Appreciate it. Yeah, so we still have some time here. We have a lot of time, actually. We have about 20 minutes. But if we don't see anything happen here within the next 10 or 15 minutes, then we're probably just gonna have to wrap it up. The reason why I'm saying that is because the volatility is so low. And like typically on a normal market, if the market was volatile, we'd be able to see this correct back up, right? That'd be perfect. Price would swing back up. It would switch trend and we can start looking for some buys here. But because the volatility is so low, this is gonna be a snail movement, right? It might just chop between this middle area right here. So looking at the current range right now, the range is actually between the 950 and the 900. So let me just drop this down here real quick. This upper range is pretty much irrelevant for now. So we still have this middle chop area that I drew up for you guys, but the range is really just between these two price points right here. It's between the 950 and the 900 mark. So, I mean, realistically, if you want to look for some entries here, we need price to break out of this area. So we need price to break above and continue climbing, or we need price to break below and continue dropping. It's just a trash market right now that we're dealing with. And nothing has happened here since price broke into this choppy range. Well, I mean, so let me just show you real quick. So you can see over here, price really hasn't done much this whole session. So from right here, this is pretty much just consolidation, right? So we had price come down right here. Well, I mean, there's a lot of consolidations. There's consolidation right here too. So we have consolidation from open. It's slightly pushed down, consolidation, slightly pushed down. And then again, right here, it's just been consolidating. It's not really worth, I mean, there's just nothing here. This is the market we've been dealing with pretty much all day today. No direction. I mean, it looks like there's direction here, like price came down, right? But it really, realistically, if you break it down, there wasn't really much direction here. Price kind of just went sideways. And then now it's still going sideways. I mean, luckily for us, the entry earlier over here that played through. So we had one win today and one loss. The one over here, we had a win, but then the good thing about this is that the volatility was so low that when it pushed down, it just like really went to TP. The entry over here, this was an unlucky entry. Like this over here actually did come down and hit TP, but it hit our stop loss before it came down. So we just got caught in the retracement. It came down, retraced up, triggered the stop loss, and then it came all the way back down to its full TP. So I mean, this trade over here was unlucky because all the confluences lined up. It looked like it was going to come down, but this one over here, I would consider this one. I actually consider this one worse than this one. I think this one was actually a better setup, but this one over here, because of the volatility, just went straight to TP right there. You can see pretty much came down and then just went straight to TP. And it didn't actually chop like it did earlier, or not earlier, but on the second entry. All right, so we'll continue to look for some entries here, guys. Again, it's 7:42 right now, so I don't think we're going to have any more entries from now until 8 o'clock. Looking at where price is currently going, in order for us to have some buys here, we need price to actually climb up pretty heavily. And I'm just not really expecting that to happen anytime soon. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon, guys. There's just no need to hang around here longer than we need to. Hanging around is just gonna cause you to revenge trade and FOMO into an entry. Because I'm trying to think of like what's the best case scenario, because if my cutoff is 8 o'clock, right? So in order for me to take entry, I really need price to push above here. And I'm just thinking ahead because I can't take any entries until there's a confirmation of trend. The trend is down here right now. And if price just continues to chop within this range price right here, you're pretty much just going to waste time and you're going to feel tempted to force something here because it doesn't look like price is attempting to shift back up, but this could just be another fake out. And then price just pull right back into the range down here. So I think I'm okay with my break-even day today. I was hoping I'd have my 2 back-to-back wins, but unfortunately I got caught in that second trade where it just ended up spiking to my stop loss before I came down to a TP. Let's see how many more weeks we have of August left. So we have 1 week of August left after tomorrow. And then we will start off with September. I don't think the market's going to pick up immediately in September. It might have to, yeah, it might take the whole month before it starts to pick up. But I think it will pick up because we are anticipating interest rate cuts. So if you guys haven't been following the news, interest rates are going to be cutting in September. It's probably going to be 0.25 to 0.50, which is going to be beneficial for us because that's going to indicate a good market. So as you guys can see right here, it's doing exactly what I just mentioned earlier, guys. It's pretty much just pulling right back into the cut or the chop actually. So the chop that I drew right here, this is why I was saying like it's kind of pointless to stay on here for an extended period because it's just going to end up going back and forth between this area. And there's no entries to take within this area. If you want to take some buys, you need price to break above and continue climbing. And if you want to take some sells, you need price to break below and continue dropping. But it's not really looking like we're going to get that here today. So I think I'm going to wrap this up, guys. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me on Discord. Otherwise, there's just not much to do here. I don't recommend you guys trade within this middle area, guys. There's just no point. If you want to trade, I mean, it's going to be tough because look, see here, I'm going to give you guys some scenarios here. If price pushes up, there's a very strong chance that price is going to cut into a chop right here, just like this chop right here, right? It's just going to go back into another chop. And then if price comes below, it's going to break into another chop down here. So, I mean, I think today's just not a good day to trade, guys. I think I would just call it a day if you guys don't have to trade today. Pretty sure nobody has to force anything, but I mean, this is kind of what you should expect because you can see from the patterns from today, it's just a repeat, right? Chop, push out a little bit, chop, push out a little bit, big chop. And then if it pushes to the upside, it's just going to chop or push down here and chop. I don't think we're going to get a directional move anytime soon. Might happen maybe in the next couple hours, maybe after lunch. But at this very specific time, I'm not really expecting very much. So like, you need to see something like this happen to actually have some confidence in your entry. And I'm just not expecting that to happen anytime soon. And again, right here, it's doing exactly what we anticipated. Price pushed up, faked out, came right back into the range. So I'm gonna leave that at that, guys. I'm gonna take today's break even. If you guys close the day break even or with small profit, that's a win in my book any day. For the bigger move, the 100-point move, I hit my TP there. So I technically have more profit today because I have break even from my scalps, but then I have a full TP, or not a full TP, a partial TP over here for the 100-point move. So I'll run this again tomorrow and we'll see how it plays through. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up for the day. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you guys have profit to post up, feel free to post them in the group. Otherwise, today was a break-even day for our official entries. And we'll come back tomorrow fresh as we close out the trading week on Friday. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session.